Well, good evening, everyone. I want to welcome you to another beautiful Saturday here in Cave Creek, Arizona, and I want to thank you all for stopping in. Who we got here? Susan, and great seeing you as always, Jimmy Page. He's some educated ears in the house, and fabulous Joe Garcia is in here. Should have you bring your kid over, man. We'll talk about that. Real soon at some point. I'm hoping to be doing a lot more of this. A lot more streaming with bands and duos and trios and things, because this seems to be such a great way for us to all reconnect. And I see Mary Lou down the road here. I want to welcome you to the show. And again, this is, I think, number 17 of my live streams here from Cave Creek. And I have to say, it's been a very creative time for me. I'm kind of reinventing myself in so many words. It's kind of like you have a lot of time alone, and you really try to figure out what it is you really want out of your life now when this gets back to some kind of normalcy, And I've come up with some new things. And what most importantly, I think for me anyway, and I'm sure I'm speaking for a lot of people, is kind of resets your values and resets your overall outlook on life, and it's been a real contemplative time for me. And I'm going to share some original compositions with you today. I have I've been inspired to be writing during this time, and so I have some interesting things I'm going to throw you away. And like I say, I was very blessed to be able to reconnect with so many dear friends back east. And abroad that I've kind of lost touch in it, not because I don't care, it's because, things get in the way, your work and your obligations and your stuff, just things get in the way. But, with all this time being home, it's not in the way anymore. So I was able to reconnect using this form of media. And I just can't tell you how wonderful it feels to reconnect with students that are going back 40 years, 45 years. With me, and so it's really been a very, very special time for me. Well, we're going to start off here. I got a bunch of tunes, and if you go to my YouTube page, that will be all my live streams will be over there. Even though this is on the Facebook platform, I'm actually copying this onto an MP4 and bringing it over to my YouTube, so they're all parked there too. So not only can you see it on all the live streams that were on Facebook here, but I was just Thursday night, had a fun show on my YouTube channel. I had Japan and Philippines and Denmark and a lot of people from abroad. So I have a lot of followers on my YouTube channel. So it's been really a really interesting experience. And I'm doing all different material. There'll be some repeats tonight because I want to showcase a little bit of my more of my writing and some of the things I'm working on, and because I know that my Facebook crowd here probably didn't get a chance to see some of the stuff yet on the YouTube. But if you're looking to be entertained and sit back for an hour, you can go back in and grab one of my live streams, and I'm telling stories. And I'm actually searching into I'm going deep into my memorabilia here too. So tonight I'm going to be going back to 1982. With some pics and things. So yeah, this is really going to be kind of a real hoot. And then I got special knowledge. I know my mom will be in the house. She's 92 on April 5th. I was supposed to be down there to visit her. And of course our plans have changed. And but she's doing great. And love you, Mom. And want to say hi. And this is another big reason why I do this. And I'll show you. And I had this on here, and this no time like the present to show you this. Now that picture would say a million words. It's my mom watching me on my live stream. And here she is on a recent visit last year in my house, and just sitting there wanting me to play piano for her. It's just really a very, very, very special thing. So this goes out to you, Mom. So anyway, and I got a special thing for you, Mom. So later on, you get the last one of the show is going to be just for you. So anyway, we're going to start off with, I'm playing a mixture of standards and some originals tonight, and I have a kind of a reputation of playing a lot of these old tunes, and but I'm going to be playing some common things too. So tonight I'm going to start off with a great tune called by Gershwin called "But Not for Me." Enjoy. Well, there you have it, but not for me. It's funny, you start playing, it's like, unlike some of the gigs you go to, I'm like, I have this studio off my house, and I have AC in here, so it becomes very cold, and, musicians can get to it, so it takes a tune, you're halfway through the first chorus, you're like, okay, man, my hands are like, they're going to get warm again. It's actually easier to play when it's hot, believe it or not. But anyway, that's always a fun tune to play. And it brings back, lots of memories of me playing with the great Dick Johnson. That was back in the Boston days when I was in Boston, for many years, and I became very ingrained with a lot of the players there. And I had so many good memories playing with Dick. And when I moved out to Arizona, Dick was instrumental. Him, he was the leader of the Ida Shaw Orchestra. Him and Paul Schmeling was the chair eminence of Berklee College of Music for piano, and Charlie Banakis all gave me letters of recommendation for my teaching when I first moved to Arizona back. It's 2003 now, I guess. It's been about 17 years, so it's been great. I love Arizona, and but New England's still a home to me, so all my New England people in Boston area and New Hampshire, I have so many great memories. So the next tune that I have here is, let's see, who do we got here? I want to make sure I'm saying hi. Oh, Cheryl's in. And Dave Landoni, yeah, man. My buddy, my fellow cycling maniac, and it's really, really a fun to connect, not only with great players. Dave's a great bass player, and but he's also an insane cycler, and I'm into cycling too, road biking up here in the hills in Arizona, and I saw he did 50 miles the other day, and I'm getting jealous. So we're gonna have this like competition, I think, and I'm gonna try to talk him into coming out and experience some really cool riding up here in the northern Arizona. It's phenomenal. It really is quite good. And I see Kim Hilton. Kim Hilton is responsible for me becoming an artist for the Earthworks Microphone Company. I am very, very blessed to be part of that wonderful family and an internationally known company. This is why the piano's sounding so good in here right now. It's this Earthworks microphone. And from what I hear, the piano's coming through really nice. So it's I took a lot of work just figuring out the software and all that for live streaming, but that's where, I'd be lost without. This is like my right arm. So this is on every recording I do, all my teaching and everything. Even that recording you saw with that jazz trio, I use this microphone. I walk into a gig and the drummer's bringing his drums, and the bass player got his axe, and horn players got all their horns, and I walk in with microphones and cameras now, and I record all the gigs, and We're very blessed here to have an amazing archive of incredible musicians. You know, Joe Garcia was just, and he's just one of the cats, but there's so many great ones. Don Moyo from Maine, originally. He was out here when Chuck Moronic was here, a great piano player, but great Mike Coker. There's so many wonderful players, so I rather not list anyone and forget anyone, but I really feel very blessed to be in an area where there's incredible bass players and drummers and horn players and just talent, you know, and we all seem to find each other. Roz Forsyth, an old student of mine and a very dear friend, and let's see, we get and PJ's in. Yeah, man, this is really this is so nice to see everyone. Well, thank you again for coming, and I got some really interesting things planned tonight, and and it's always interesting when I'm going to debut some new material. And I get some new ones tonight, and I'm really excited to share it with you. And I have pictures that will show you how, in fact, how the title came to. You know, even though I'm writing this in quarantine time, and I'm thinking of, but I'm actually home a lot, but I'm thinking a lot about a lot of things. So the titles will reflect what I'm going through. Well, I got some people here. Well, I'll tell you what. Before I play the next one, I'm going to play the next one, then I'll come back, and I'm going to go back into some memorabilia, and you guys are going to freak out when you see this. This is pretty wild. But this next tune brings up a memory. I did it with the faculty band at the PV College, and I was there for many years, and with an incredible band. John Lewis on drums, Ted Sistrunk on bass, Scott Zimmer, and Brett Reed on vibes, Scott Zimmer on tenor. And it was just a wonderful band. And twice a year we'd do these major concerts where we did Cal Jader, Chick Corea, Dave Brubeck, Coltrane. You know, I mean, I remember doing Blue Rondo a la Turk, and I think I aged like 5 years by the time I get to the fourth page. But anyway, I have so many good memories. Chris Cinto was responsible putting that all together, so love out to Chris and the family. But this next tune is called Poinciana, and I played it with Brett Reed on vibes. We did just a duo thing, and it was happening, man. It was like Brett's a great. He just can play vibes, man. He's really very musical cat and really good guy. So anyway. If they're all listening or they hear about it, just know I'm tooting your horn because you guys deserve it, you know. So anyway, Poinciana, here we go. There you have it, Poinciana. Yeah, man. And, oh, Marla. Good seeing Marla in there, man. Beautiful. And let's see, what else we got here? And great seeing you again. It's very nice to be able to connect and have music be this kind of healing source for us all. You know, it really is it's a blessing. I find myself drawn to this. You know, good times, bad times. This is like my, it's my savior. It really is a wonderful, wonderful thing. So we have this a little bit of memorabilia, and you guys will dig this. You'll that know my my history in Boston a little bit, and this is kind of cool. We have right now. This is going back to 1982, 38 years ago, man. Okay, and this is, anyone guess where this is? This is the Marriott Long Wharf in Boston. This is the grand opening, and guess who played the grand opening? Myself, in the white, if you can recognize me with that long hair and the mustache, and my cousin Joe Delaney, who's a fabulous pianist, and he's playing on the Cape Cod now in Boston area in Massachusetts, so he's a fabulous player. And so we did this back in 1982, a 6-hour gig. And here we are. And the agent had us go out, and we had to get our tails, and we had here we are, engaging in everything from playing jazz standards to Chariots of Fire. And we were having a real hoot, just giving them everything, single thing that they could possibly want. But this was for the grand opening of the Marriott Hotel in Long Wharf in Boston. It's 38 years ago. So it's really Joesville. Yes, Joesville is like, my cousin is a funny cat, and he's an extraordinary piano player. And we grew up just listening to jazz. We used to go listen to the great Dave McKenna on Cape Cod, and Dave is one of our favorite players. And Dave used to listen to and play and listen to the Red Sox. He was an avid Sox fan, and he had like a little radio, and he'd plug it earpiece in and be playing a gig and be listening to the Sox game. So he was like pretty amazing cat, and he'd be playing all this stride piano stuff, and he just real wizard, And so me and Joe used to hang and listen. And Joe's dad was a pianist, and my dad was a bass player, and they used to gig here and there. My dad studied with John Neves for a little while, a great bass player at Berkeley. And so we were exposed. I grew up with a Hammond B3 in the house and drums set in the corner, and it's kind of like around. And same with Joe, because our dads were like music jazz freaks, So it was really kind of it's fun to share these stories, because I feel like I'm at a giant piano bar and I could play a tune and tell you a little bit about what it's been like being a musician for 45 years, And but you know what? In spite of what we're going through right now, and it's kind of a horrendous time, I would never take anything back, because it's just there's nothing better than playing music. It's just a wonderful fulfillment, and those that play really understand it. This next tune I'd like to play for you is another Rodgers and Hart tune, and I'll slow it down a little bit. It's called Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewildered. there you have it, Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewildered. It's really a fun tune to play, and it's kind of, it's very relaxing into it. It's really kind of a bewildering place to be right now, and a lot of this stuff is bringing up some very interesting thoughts for me when I was composing. This next tune, and again, I haven't played this for anyone. I just finished writing it a few days ago. And this is going out to my mom because we're, even though I have a Delaney last name, I am so Italian, man. I grew up with my mom's family were from Sicily, and it's been very, 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 very exciting for me to be able to learn more and more about the Italian culture and all. I get my nice cold water coming. Thank you, my dear. We don't get this kind of service at the Ritz-Carlton, No, I did the Ritz for a long time, and they were actually very kind to me, Seema said, it's freezing in here. Well, yeah, man. Well, that explains why your hands get a little wild to get going. When it's like 95 out and you try to keep one corner where your piano is. I have a humidifier on the piano and a dehumidifier, so I have to water the piano every like 10 days, and I got the thing humidity controlled and the whole thing, so I try to keep the piano happening. Instead of keeping the whole house happening, I keep one room in the house where the piano is all nice and cool. So that was Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewildered. It's a great, great, great tune. It's one of the old standards. This next tune brings up my history of being Italian, and what I had originally wanted to be doing is my mom, again, her parents are from Palermo, Sicily, and most recently on some of my live streams, I'm getting some people from Italy, and they reached out to me with some very kind emails, how they were enjoying my shows, and and me spending the time to bring music to them, and of course, I asked how they're doing, and they're in just absolute, trying time, So my heart went out to them, and I was scheduled to maybe try to take a trip out there. I was in the process of planning, and very seriously planning, on going to play some jazz piano over in Italy, and for a while I was going to go out there for quite a long spell, 4 to 6 weeks, and it just all of a sudden kind of changed direction. Things started coming up, and we changed it. But this first tune that I wrote here, it's called Palermo, and I'm going to show you a little bit. This would my mom would dig this. She'd really enjoy seeing this. This is what I pictured when I wrote this piece of music, and this is the streets of Palermo, and there we go. How's that, man? Isn't that really something? And it's so again, I'm destined to end up out there. But when you hear this piece of music, here we go. Learning my software here, and but this is the picture you want to vision when you hear this piece of music. Okay, so hope you enjoy it. It's called Palermo. Well, there you have it. There was Palermo, and again, that was one of those. I haven't had a chance to play this for anyone, except myself in my house here, and it makes it really kind of fun to share it with everyone, and for the first time. So again, I don't know if you felt that in it, but you can almost sense those kind of old streets and culture and kind of Italian little cafes and bistros, and it's kind of it's a fun tune to blow on too. So it has some really nice jazz components on it. Godfather meets Copacabana. Yeah, man, it's like definitely has one of those kind of things to it. I wrote one today that I finished up another one today, and I'll be playing it next week. And I played it, and Seema goes, "It sounded like a movie score." It was like one of those kind of really kind of a movie theme, and a lot of the stuff comes through that way. Let's see, we have this next tune. I'm going to kind of take it into something a little bit more familiar now, and see, Bob Cohen here. Good seeing you, Bob. Hope things are well there where you guys are, and really good guy, and good seeing you, Ruth. Thank you. And PJ, and again, all you guys for stopping in and saying hello. And again, you can hear all the live streams on my YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is going to be featuring all of them. I'm even pushing the ones from Facebook. I'm not pushing them, I'm just actually taking them and converting them so I can have them all stored in one place. So not only will they be found for the Facebook ones on my Facebook channel, but you can also find them on my YouTube channel. This is number 17. All with different tunes and different stories and different things and different hangs. So it's really it's very cool, and I'm getting more and more comfortable with all this software stuff. So I'll have every show. I'll have some more memorabilia. I have some wild pitches from back in the '80s, and actually even earlier with me playing in a show band, and the flowered shirts and it's the whole thing. So this next one here, I'm going to put out. It's called Honeysuckle Rose. I'd like to play for you. But before I do, I'd like to also mention on my pianoinstruction.com website, as many of you might know, I have a couple of books out. Played piano in 6 weeks or less. Was very successful. With Sterling Book Publisher, we went out with book number 2. And with that particular release, I've offered to put free videos up for all the books, for the books that I have, so to make it a winning situation for all people that wanted to learn piano. So they have watched the video. So on pianoinstruction.com, they have all the videos. So what I have opted to do, and seeing this is it's a perfect time to kind of dive into the bucket list thing, because you never know when the lights will be shut off in the world. I mean, who would have ever thought such a thing? So what I did is on my pianoinstruction.com website, I have everything is free right now, everything. And it is a way for people to go in. They can dabble with some things. There's some more advanced topics and things there, but for the most part, I wanted to kind of unleash some of the things there. This is not about trying to capitalize in a market where everyone's having struggles and things. So this is a time where we want to share, and hopefully music is a nurturing. I know all my students that are studying with me. For those that don't know, I teach by video correspondence. My camera's here, and if you can see this cool studio here. I'll have more cameras here eventually, but you can see the lighting. There's a camera up ahead, and I get cameras all over the place. So what happens is I basically, students will send me videos of themselves playing the lesson content. Then I send back a fully edited critique of their lesson. It's one lesson a month, and they're very, very, very powerful. I mean, more powerful than if you saw me every week for an hour. So you'd get back a full critique lesson, all video edited with Final Cut Pro, and I am all high def. And then I go into my library of over 2,000 videos that no one sees except my students. And these are shared with my students. So you're watching myself play your lesson exactly at your level. So that's where the winning piece is, because you can get by with one lesson a month because you don't need that second lesson to kind of go over things you didn't get the first time around. So it's pretty powerful. So anyway, anyone interested in ever doing that, you can reach out to me, and pretty close to running a full show right now. But I could surely I'm entertaining more thoughts of getting more students in. So anyway, I'm going to get on to Honeysuckle Rose, and then I got 3 more for you. So sit tight. This is going to be I got an original, and I got a special one for Mom on the last tune. So, and I know Mom is she's on the East Coast. I haven't seen her come through yet, So, but she's, a lot of times she'll be, and she's the kind that will be out hanging Christmas lights at 92, or helping my brother rake stones, in the garden. So, and it maybe explains why I can go out and do 27 miles, 30 miles on a bike, at 63 years old, so it's like, here we go, Mom, it's, hopefully some of it rub off on me. Anyway, here we go to Honeysuckle Rose. There you go. We had Honeysuckle Rose. And again, we want to I want to welcome anyone new that could maybe just come in. So, hey, Scott, good seeing you. Panna, thank you for stopping by. This is really nice of you guys to pop in and check out the hang here. And for those that might miss it, you can always check it out again on my YouTube channel. We're going to have some stuff on YouTube. Now, this next tune is another original. I previewed it kind of on Thursday night for YouTube. It's called Orange Umbrella. You're probably saying, where the heck do you get a name like that, So when you're in a quarantine situation and you're in a house, I mean, we have a beautiful setting here. It's I'm very blessed in that aspect of it. But it's you kind of look at your surroundings. John Ragusa from Tampa, one of my great students down there, good piano player. So this Orange Umbrella, check this out. This will tell the story a little bit. this SEMA with the orange umbrella. We're out there on the deck, and I spent so many hours out here just unwinding between going from the piano back outside, and we get some great weather here in Arizona now. And here's outside the pool area, but again, orange umbrella. So the orange umbrella is a very prevalent kind of thing in my life. It's like, but so that's where this came from. And when I wrote this, it was kind of an interesting time because we're coming up on the end of the month. And I don't know about you, but this is it's still so undecided. What is going to happen? What's going on? Where are we going with all this? So there's still so much unknown, and so I guess there's an element of hope in some of these tunes now when I'm writing, thinking, okay, we're getting to the end. We've been all through March and April, and okay, so this one was written not too long ago, and hope you enjoy Orange Umbrella. Well, there you have it. That's Orange Umbrella, man. It's like it's one of those kind of things that only I'll remember. And I'll have a good time being able to tell the story when all this material was written, you know? So it's really kind of a very kind of wild time, but, you know, some music can come out of it. And in that particular tune, there was obvious evidence of hope and optimism and everything else. It wasn't so sad as, you know, some of the stuff. I mean, the first one I played was Forever April, and that's going to play the very last tune here. So you get a chance to, after I play this next one, you get a chance to hear my Forever April. That was a nice composition. The first one I wrote, where it seemed like every day was April, and April was dragging longer and longer and longer for us all. So again, I want to thank you all for coming through here. This is such a blast, you know. I mean, it's like a highlight of my week, because we're so active as musicians, entertainers, and we're out there, and, you know, I've been doing the Omni Resort, and, you know, I'd be getting up and going to do the Omni tomorrow, you know, and so that's not happening. So we're kind of reinventing ourselves in so many ways, and a lot of times it happens because of circumstances will actually reveal themselves in a, you know, it's really what it really is all about, you know. The circumstances themselves will reveal how to handle it, you know. So what I'm doing is I'm finding ways now to get more international exposure, and reaching afar, staying connected with friends and family, and making new friends, and keeping that strength. I mean, I look back at, I see Roz here, and PJ, and John, and Jimmy Pay. I mean, these people, I mean, some of these people are going back 30, 40 years for me, 45 years, you know? And how cool is it to be able to connect live? Never mind. And that's why I tell people, I said, when you play live, it's way different than a lot of the stuff you see on my YouTube channel, which you see, by the way, that trio you heard in the beginning, we're playing Don't Blame Me. It was a very special group I had a chance to play with for a few years over in California when I was kind of living there, and over here I was kind of spending a lot of time there. And it was Sinclair, Lott on drums, and Roger Shew, who we lost a few years ago, and I'm very blessed to have had the chance to play with him. He was a wonderful talent. And it was a special group. So there's a lot of that trio, and a lot of other trio too. I have some nice recordings that I have with Don Moyo, Bob Lazier, John Lewis, Dwight Killian, Ted Sistrunk. You know, there's all the great players, Chris Stewart, Jerry Donato, all the Arizona guys. And it's unfortunate we haven't been doing as much playing, you know, but that's going to change. And when you'll see what I'm going to be doing up here, you guys won't believe it. So I have a nice courtyard right out here, and you can't see it right now. I wish there was a way for me to show you. I'm still waiting on my switcher to have a couple of cameras here so I can do some more instructional stuff. But when that comes, I'll take a camera and we'll look outside and show you what my vision is. But it will be more about having when it's safe to come out, I'll be broadcasting from the house with duos and trios and things, and being able to reach an audience so far, and doing it right out of my home. So that'll be great. So this next one goes out to my mom, and this is a song that I grew up listening to a million times, and it brings back her dad and mom were from Palermo, Sicily, but my grandfather used to sing Return to Sorrento all the time. So my mom just loves this tune. And so again, I'm going to give it a little bit more of a, you know, in a pensive kind of style, but I'll see what I can do with it. And this one's out for you, Mom. I love you. And this is the great way to being able to connect, you know. So anyway, this is a special one out to Mom, Return to Sorrento. And again, it's definitely not a jazz tune, but it's something that you can really, really do wonderful things with such a beautiful, powerful melody. And watch what we're going to do. Okay, here we go. So there you go. Oh, Sam, good seeing you. The best dentist in all of Cave Creek and surrounding areas. Sam Swainhart and Ashley, beautiful wife. I want to thank you for stopping by. That was dedicated to my mom. Anyone that just popped in, that was Return to Sorrento. And many of you might not know this, but it's when I first started music, I played accordion first. It was my first instrument. And I studied with a wonderful player. And I had a quarter box. It sounded like an organ and everything. And it was really cool. And I had my lessons, and I did all the Hanon stuff, and I did all the stuff on accordion. And I was very into it. And I mean, I played Rhapsody in Blue and the whole thing on it, and played, all kinds of tarantellas and things. And it's funny because the accordion's making a big surge back now, but I'm talking back when I was 9, 10 years old. So we're talking 50-something. A long time ago, man. So anyway, it's but I switched to piano. I remember going to my dad, and I remembered him not wanting to be disappointed in me. I remember, never forget that. I just lost my dad not that long ago. This is an interesting, kind of touching story. I mean, I remember going to him when I was 15, and I said, Dad, really, I don't want to play accordion anymore. I want to play piano, because I grew up in the house listening to Jimmy Smith on organ and Oscar Peterson, and he used to have Cannonball Adderley playing all the time. And I grew up listening to jazz, and not that I was playing Don't Blame Me and all these cool tunes on the accordion. I was playing all these jazz tunes, and so I was digging it, and it was fine, but it wasn't the cool thing to do back then. It was kind of all my kids in high school I went to high school with were listening to Creedence Clearwater Revival and Aerosmith, and not that they do it well, of course, but it was like I grew up listening to Art Tatum and Bud Powell. Me and my cousin Joe cut out of the same cloth. It's really kind of wild. So anyway, when I switched to piano, I asked my dad, and not only for my 16th birthday, he had a piano show up for me. So the rest is history, I guess. So this gives you a time. To reminisce. So sorry, I'm so used to this. Anyway, I know my dad would be proud. And it was pretty special. It was very special what he did for me. So anyway, on that note, okay, boy, I guess I'm comfortable with you all to be able to tell you the way it is. It's a cool thing. But I switched the piano, and on my 16th birthday, there was a Yamaha piano sitting in my living room. And to that day, and he signed me up for Berklee College of Music. So I was going into Berklee, and he hooked up with Dick Odgren, one of the greatest teachers of all time. And he was responsible for me being where I am today. So, thank you, Dad. You know, so anyway, sorry to lose it on you guys. It's like, you know, but music is an emotional thing. And, you know, it's something that when you get this much time in your hands, everyone thinks musicians are really these happy people. We really are. But, you know, you dig deep into your emotion and you really start seeing, you know, and I just lost my dad not that long ago, you know, so, and he was 86, so, and, you know, so this was special to send something to my mom, too, because I'm very fortunate to have them both in my life for so long. So anyway, on that note, I'll be back here next Saturday, and with more memorabilia. So when you dig deep like that, I'm sure it brings tears to a lot of people's eyes, you know, and you start thinking about stuff that went on in your life. My God, it's like, you know, but I never really thought about that until just now. I'm singing, wow, I played accordion on this song. So I kind of digging deeper into my, into who I am. And, you know, so it's really a cool thing, you know, to be able to kind of reminisce and let it all out and let it. So I know Dad is up there digging what I'm doing right now, and he's always been my support. You know, he was my, you know, right arm. Want to see what I practice every single day. What you working on your lesson, man? Oh, you sound great. Want me to play for his friends every time he come. We have people over, and you know, so it was like he was really proud of me, and he was kind of he was living through me. He wanted to be a professional musician, and he was a very successful executive for the Boston Globe, and he ended up. But he loved jazz, and so it was such a really cool thing to be able to have his support. And he came to every one of my gigs, every single gig. I look out and he'd sit there, he'd be in his three-piece suit and tie, and coming in to see me play at Stinger's over in Hingham, and the Hugo's Lighthouse, or Affinity's Country Square, or Ken Steakhouse, or the Marriott in Newton. I was playing all the hotels in Boston, and I was playing 7 nights a week. So he was out all the time, and giving me that element of support. So it was really good. So that's why I kind of lose it a little bit, because it's like, you know, it's because of him I'm at where I am today, so for sure. But anyway, this very last tune you're going to hear on the way out, kind of went over here a little bit. It's my tune Forever, April. Hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back next week, same time. And it'll be a great thing. We'll have a great time. And then Thursday night, if you're around, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll be there at 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. I know it's late for the East Coast. I'm specifically doing this for Mom and my East Coast buds, because this is a normal time for them. It's like, you know, it gets to be kind of late when I do it at 7. It's like 10 o'clock over there. But on YouTube, I'll be there at 7 o'clock this Thursday coming. So stop in, and it'll be all new tunes and more fun, okay? And maybe more tears. You never know. It's one of those kind of things that if you can't kind of, you know, this is, again, what's really important to us all here is our family and our friends and our loved ones. So I think that's what's all coming out of this. It surely is for me. Okay, until next time, God bless you all, and I want you to leave you with right now with my original Forever April, and everyone have a good rest of the week. Okay, God bless. See ya.